Last time we fought our way through and snuck our way through the this cave that was being used as a dragon hatchery slash kind of barracks for the leftover kobolds and cultists that were left to kind of guard these dragon eggs. And there's a profound still that comes over the cave as soon as the last kobold is slain, and you realize that the background noise of little footsteps or chatter that was barely on the edge of perception is gone, and it's fairly still. There are some parts that you haven't fully explored of this cave, like the trash piles and that you saw earlier, and a couple of other things. But for the most part, things seem pretty still. What's the plan?
Well, my plan was, were we allowed to level up?
Yeah, you should all be level 5 now.
Okay, all right. I don't want to undo all the
Everybody got there. Everybody's level 5, right?
Our current hit points, or do we?
Yes.
Full up now?
No, you have not taken a long rest.
Okay.
Your current hit points are your current hit points.
Well, I'm going to go into this room and explore it out a little bit.
Okay. You see,
I want to look for things, anything.
Okay, it looks similarly laid out to the chamber that you entered before you fought Mondath. That was a human barracks with all those guards. You fought like 12 or so at the same time, cultists, but their beds were somewhat structured. This is a bunch of planks of random wood with kind of stinking, half-cleaned animal pelts on them, and there's a large kind of dilapidated makeshift wooden table in the middle. And there are a number of beds that line the chamber. The walls are all just stone, as is natural for the cave area. And it's pretty clear that this is where, since you just fought all those kobolds, this was basically the kobold barracks.
Okay, sounds pretty uninteresting.
Yeah, I mean, a cursory glance, it really doesn't seem that there's anything of value, and you know that on pain of death, the cult made everyone surrender all of its gold to the larger Hoard.
Yeah, I'm more curious what was in that garbage heap. So I'm going to head back that way.
Okay.
Warland's
wait.
just kind of looking around.
There's still bats here, aren't there?
Yes, there are. You're going to have to make a stealth check if you take basically another step.
Warland's just looking around. He actually feels like he was in a complete daze and has no idea where he's at.
Okay, I'm going to go the other way because it's a shorter path through the bats.
Okay. As you make your way up there, you see that this room, you were a little bit distracted by fighting the kobolds and pushing and smashing them with various benches. But there's another. This looks very similar to the chamber where you found the 3 eggs. On the far eastern side, there's a staircase down surrounded by iron bars that go all the way up to the top of the ceiling of the chamber. And there's about a 10-foot drop sheer into this, about 15 feet sheer drop into this larger opening. And you can see that there are some small sleeping guard drakes in the rear corner. And they have not necessarily been alerted to your presence. They look relatively small, smaller than the ones that you had faced before, more similar to the ones that you saw back in Greenest that the kobolds had on leashes. And they're relatively in plain sight. They're kind of stirring a little bit. And you can see that there are some much smaller eggs surrounding the area back in the corner where these drakes are. It seems pretty I mean, you wouldn't need any kind of insight check or anything to know that this is where they were breeding and hatching the hatchling drakes for the cultists.
Anyone want a pet drake?
If any of you want to get too much closer, you'll need to probably act quietly to not wake them.
Meanwhile, Julian's taking a breather, searching through the room, but doesn't particularly find anything. He's not paying enough attention, clearly, because she just trips.
Borland's going to go ahead and survey the side of the canyon, or the cavern here, and being that he's very nimble and dexterous, he's going to see if he can try to climb around.
Well, I mean, you can walk right along that wall.
I want to climb where it ends right here, right? I assume so. I kind of want to climb along the wall.
Oh, you want to climb along the wall, along over top of the pit area?
To see if it keeps going back further.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check with your athletics for climbing.
A strength check, you said?
Yeah, generally strength check climbing is a strength athletics check to hold yourself as you move along. Oh yeah, you're Spider-Man on this wall. Make a stealth. That was the stealth. Okay, whatever you're doing it quietly.
While he's doing that, I kind of want to look around at all the party members, see if anybody's in need of some healing powers. I want to make sure everybody's hunky-dory.
Julianne just kind of looks out of breath.
Alright, I'm going to try and quietly crawl down into the pit.
Okay, Warland,
But
you're
how beat up are you?
yeah, you are able to you're able to very quietly climb out over kind of the top of where these drakes are. So, you can be kind of over here, and they stir a little bit, but then immediately kind of go back to sleep. Gore very deftly kind of scrambles down the incline into the pit itself.
Alright, so where are these dragon eggs? Or where do I see them?
Just back here, there's probably 20 of them, and they don't look at all like the dragon eggs. They're maybe,
I'm sorry, drake eggs.
6 inches high.
Right. All right.
But they're scattered kind of just all about, and there's just different piles of detritus and hay, and there's some bones and different things. They're just kind of scattered around. You could tell that. Somebody can make if they want to know more about the drakes and the behavior and why they might be here and all kinds of different stuff. You can make a knowledge nature check.
How about even myself with my knowledge of all things dragons?
You have more knowledge
nature?
of dragons proper.
Okay.
That would not necessarily help you. I will say you can have advantage.
Woo!
Okay. So, Gore and Ander, as you're kind of seeing the sleeping smaller drakes and all of these eggs, and having fought the larger drakes that were back by the dragon eggs, you can gather that those drakes were the parents, or some of them might have been the parents of these eggs, but that drakes notoriously the males will eat their own young, and so they had to separate the hatchlings and the drake eggs from the adult drakes. But these are just regular, run-of-the-mill. They're called ambush drakes because they're smaller and a little bit more quick, but not nearly as strong as their larger species.
So much for ambush drakes. We've got the ambush on them.
That certainly seems to be the case.
So I'm pretty sure I know what Gore's going to go do. So before we do that, is there a check I can do to like look at everybody and kind of gauge within a percentile of 100% of their life what percentage they're at?
Of health?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Medicine.
Yeah, Corey, anybody can come and watch that wants to. So yeah, Ander, you can absolutely make an insight check, and or actually, you're not trying to tell their motivations. This is more of a perception or investigation. I would say you scan them all with your eyes, visually, just to see who's maybe wounded, and so that would be an investigation check.
Y'all look good to me.
Yeah, that you can't really tell how much anybody's hurt. Yalara, Julian, what are you guys doing?
Following Gore.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just following.
Okay, go ahead. And so do both of you. If you're following Gore, he climbed down the incline. So you'll...
Andrew's going to have to go down too.
Okay. Everybody make a stealth check to remain quiet. This is such a small incline that you don't have to actually make a climb check.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have...
Clang.
It's only 10 feet. You can kind of just slip down it. You can kind of shimmy down it without having to really climb. Yalara is silent as the grave.
Ander fell. He
Ander
just said, you know what would be fun? If I just made as much noise as possible while rolling down this hill.
Yeah. Ander did fall, and the guard drake certainly heard him.
Unless we're doing this as a group thing. Well, no, Warland's not here, so... Not.
Yeah, I think it's individual.
Crap.
Oh, well.
So, as the drakes wake up, they see you and quickly realize what's going on. Everybody roll initiative. Corey's still hidden.
I really must have fallen down.
Yes, you did, Ender. Yes, you did.
I don't think you roll initiative as consistently as I do.
Oh, I wish this would let me roll anything higher than a single-digit number on my first roll.
All right, Yalara, having kind of squirreled yourself down the embankment quickly. Don't move yet. It is your action to do whatever you'd want.
Okay, so they're attacking us.
They're awake and alert to your presence, and they look like they feel threatened and on guard for sure. You can tell that they are about to attack you.
Okay, well, then I guess I will kill them first.
I mean, you've come up against them before, these smaller kind of variety of drakes. Yeah, they're definitely hostile. All right, you quickly line up and take a shot in the dark. Everybody's got dark vision on or can see at this point, right? So I don't have to worry about obscurity. Okay.
Correct.
All right. You just barely managed to graze one of them across the arm. Go ahead and roll your damage with your arrow. All right. Ah! You can see it kind of scream a little bit in pain as this Drake may never have seen any kind of combat or had any sort of injury before. It looks very surprised and then exceedingly angry, specifically at you. All right. Any movement, Yulara? Okay.
Sorry, I've moved forward 2 places.
Okay, that's fine. You can move up to 30 feet. All right, Julian.
Julian sees that Yulara is on the ball for whatever reason. She generally doesn't like going and attacking people, but like clearly there must be a reason for it. So I'm just gonna follow her lead.
All right, you made your. Well, yeah, you can be. You don't need to be stealthy anymore. You can move however you see fit.
Yep. And I'll attack the Drake.
Okay.
Now that I'm level 5, I have 2 attack actions for future reference.
Okay, good to know. Yeah,
Same
if anybody's got any fancy stuff that they got from, I don't have all the classes memorized, so whenever you do something new, remind me.
Oh, I did mean to ask you, are you allowing feats, or do we have to take the ability?
Feats are fine. All right. First attack, you slash out with your butcher's knife, looking to make some Drake stew, and 21 damage.
Yep.
Holy crap! I may not have been prepared for how powerful you guys will be at 5th level.
Yeah.
All right, you hack it, like the top part of its skull and one eyeball off, like it's looks really bad. Go ahead and make a.
Make a what?
Your second attack.
Okay.
That one unfortunately misses. It recoils so much from the pain that your second butcher knife retaliation goes wide.
Very well.
All right, Corey, you are still unseen and clinging to the high side of this cavern. Warland.
So he just hit this one, correct? Or she just hit that one?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to do my best to fling darts down from death from above.
Okay, you're gonna need to make an athletics check to hold on to the wall with one hand while you. Yeah, no problem. You let go with one hand and you got a firm purchase on the rock wall. Your dart, however, this not being something that you're used to doing, flies wide and sticks in the dirt. Any movement, we'll consider you on the wall being difficult terrain, so you can move half your movement.
Nope, I'll stay there.
Okay. I believe that attacking makes you unhidden. Gore.
I'm gonna charge past everyone, run up to the wall here, and attack this guy.
All right. Yep.
Twice.
Crit for
9 damage.
9. Do you have? Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
not
do you
right.
have your crit set up right? Seems like it
Yeah.
should be more, but
You know, when I was messing around with that, I found it so much easier just to put a 0 in there and then just roll the dice separately.
Wait, do you add your modifier for the extra damage?
no, not on a crit. You double. Technically, according to the rules, you double the dice roll and then add your modifiers on top of that, so you don't get double proficiency and double dex bonus or double strength bonus.
No, wait, I'm confused now. The extra damage is what exactly?
Just the dice.
Just the dice.
Okay.
So whatever dice
That's,
your
you
weapon.
can mouse over my my roll and see what it is.
I mean, it says 1d10. You just rolled bad. I think you're correct. So you did 2d10 worth of damage. It didn't roll very well for you. But I mean, you know, nine is a. But on your second one, you also crit. Wow. And did 16. Much better.
So 25 total.
Okay. Yeah, as far as I can tell, everything looks right when I mouse over your stuff. But I certainly am I know the rules, but how they integrate with Roll20 and the character sheets and stuff, I am not an expert on, so that's up to you. All right, the Drake's angry and alive strike out. The first one here goes after Julian. May you read real quick? It's 26 piercing. Alright, Julian. Ooh. It critically fails.
Cool beans.
You roll real quick.
Unguarded, all adjacent allies of your target may immediately make an attack of opportunity against you.
Okay, so anybody who is adjacent to that Drake may immediately take an attack.
Cool.
Which looks like only
Me.
Julian and Gore because of his reach. So both of you get an attack.
Sweet.
Alright, since Gore rolled first.
Damage.
I know, that's crazy damage.
Wait, why did we add like 17 damage to it?
Hold on just a second. Okay, so Gore, with your first strike, you it was already so injured that you take it down. And yeah, let's see. Julian's damage is 1d10 plus 2 plus 10 plus 5. Where's that plus 10 come from?
That is the feat called Great Weapon Master. It's listed in the title of that attack.
Okay.
It's a -5 attack penalty for plus 10 damage.
Okay. That is really
A
good.
risky maneuver, but hey, it paid off. Look at that.
All right. Okay. The next Drake will move forward one and attack Gore for 8 versus AC. I don't think that's going to do too much. And this other one will also. Let's see. Warland's unhidden, but he's up at the top of the wall, so the Drake doesn't take too much notice. He'll run over here and take a bite at Gore. 20 versus AC.
That hits.
Okay. For 2 damage. All right, Ander.
Ow.
Ender's going to clank his way up to here. And he's going to put his hand out on this Drake. And
Oh, baby!
Wow. So that's
oh wait, hold on. That's not right. That's supposed to be a
pain.
attack. Oh crap!
Is it an attack or is it a
roll.
DC?
No, it's an attack. But there's no way of seeing what. Oh, right here. Nope. Wait.
Well,
I'm just gonna have to cast it again.
just roll an attack with your
All right, it would be 16 versus AC.
for 18 necrotic.
That right here. Ander mutters one word: pain.
All right, the
Nice.
the guard Drake
That's
in
actually
its
a level 1 spell. So
the guard
I
Drake
had it
in
wrong
its
the whole
stance, having just attacked Gore, kind of feels this searing pain as it recoils, and you can see its muscles just like gyrating and pulsating with pain.
And with that, that's the end of Ander's turn.
Okay, Ylara, it's back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can't finish that one off.
Which, okay. Okay, yeah, good, you moved up. It was gonna have a half cover. Are you short bowing? Okay. You nail it kind of as it's reeling from Anders' pain. You strike it in the side of the neck as its head is kind of reeled back. Your arrow sinks in a couple of inches and you see a small trickle of blood flow out. But it is still on its feet as Julian
Steps up and finishes the job. Nope.
attempts to finish the job. Sadly, it's still writhing in pain and writhes just out of the reach of your butcher knife.
Julian makes his second attack.
Mm-hmm.
And probably fails again.
Yes, just barely missing the guard drake. So is that feat on every single attack or once per turn?
I can choose to use it or choose to not use it.
At will?
On melee attacks.
Okay. Alright, Warlin, still Spider-Man'd onto the side of the cave.
Yeah, Warland's gonna go ahead and start climbing down to the ground there.
Okay. You're probably only about 15 feet up, but go ahead and make an athletics check to climb down without falling. It's fairly easy since you've been up here. You know the wall. Yeah, no problem. Just consider that first space of movement difficult terrain. And, yeah. Take your action.
Alright, and then I'm gonna strike this guy right here.
Okay. Yeah, since this Drake is so injured, he seems pretty squirrely, and he's able to dodge out of the way of that attack. Do rogues get a second attack at that level? No, I don't think so. Alright. Gore.
Well, I'm gonna attack the guy in front of me again.
Alright. You spear out at the Drake with your pike. But these Drakes are just proving to be, as the more damage they get, it seems like the more wily they get.
Alright, well fine, I'll hit him with the other end.
Okay. And that's certainly... So you kind of jab out with your pike and then see that it misses and whack around with the other end of it. Hold on a second, Corey. And yes, you smack that guy down to the ground. And which is good because he would have just taken an attack against you. Instead, let's see, who's the last one to hit this person? Oh, this the last remaining Drake did not enjoy that pain at all, so he will spin around and lash out at Ander. 21 to hit.
That hits.
For 5 damage.
Righto.
And it is your turn to retaliate.
And I shall retaliate with a mace uppercut. $17 versus AC.
That's absolutely a hit. You
Uppercut with the mace for 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
You catch the guard drake right under its chin from the bite that it just took at you, and it flops back onto its back. Still alive, but writhing and wriggling. It is prone, though. Just for flavor. Ylara.
I think it's time to finish this sucker off.
You got a drake on its back. Now it's prone, so you're going to get disadvantage if you use a short bow.
Yeah. This-
Okay, you sidle up. I assume you're attacking with your quarterstaff. And you didn't... That was not your shillelagh, right? Okay. You just kind of jam the blunt end of your quarterstaff through, like, the soft underbelly. And you see its guts kind of ooze out through all the rest of the cuts that had already been made on its side as it's more or less disemboweled. And the threat of the drakes has been quelled. You now are in a room with several dozen drake... eggs of some sort behind you, but you can certainly assume what they are. Let's see, Corey, how do I...
Just back out one page or open in another browser, and there, where like you launch the campaign.
Yeah.
And there's a join link or invite players.
Who is it?
Just probably GC and his brother. They're cool. I guess all you guys. What's that?
Invite players.
Yeah, there's like a little HTTP link there.
Share link. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. My Crat Clan friends here are jealous of what we got going here, and they've requested that they want to play.
You can't. You probably can't see the link that I just posted because it's only to the GM. How do I do a?
No, you can. That's the right one, I think.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if I was whispering to myself or because it says GM. And yeah, Corey, I'll be happy to send you like the maps and stuff that I've got. I just would really appreciate it if you didn't read ahead in the book beyond where we are right now.
Yeah, I don't plan to get that far, to be honest. I don't think they're gonna make it, but we'll see. Here they come.
Okay.
Be quiet.
Admittedly, they may not be able to see without a token.
Well, they can listen.
Well, that's no fun. You could give them
Because
access to my
vision.
token.
Let's see here.
Are they coming into TeamSpeak too?
That might be the easiest
He's-
if you
yeah,
just
he's
give
down
him
at the
control of Warland's
You give
token.
him, you give him control of mine.
Okay. So we got Liam, and is anybody else coming?
User joined your channel.
His brother might come later, but we'll worry about that later.
Okay.
He just joined the channel. Cool.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Liam.
Hello, everyone.
Have you played D&D at all before?
Never.
All right. Well, my name is Ryan. This is my first time dungeon mastering. I'm dungeon mastering this campaign, so happy to have you watch.
Thanks. Hopefully you're better than Smithy over there.
I'm not. I'm certain. I'm fumbling through everything.
You're doing fine.
Including...
However, level 5 from level 3 is going to be a little bit of a experience for you, I can tell.
Me?
Yes.
Well, you guys...
It's a big jump.
Well, that encounter you just faced was planned for you guys to face at level 2. There's a lot harder stuff coming.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. Let's see. Okay, so Warland... Give control... Can be controlled by... Edited and controlled by Liam M. Okay. Liam, do you see...
Anything.
anything?
Okay. Yeah, I see a bunch of tokens in some sort of roughly drawn cave.
Okay.
Great.
That's exactly what you should see. Alright, so... Yes, having just slain the baby drakes... What's the plan now?
I'm going to stand in between the pillars.
I'm gonna pick up one of those eggs and pocket it.
Julian, you seem to fit just perfectly well between the pillars, almost as if it was made for you to stand right here. Gore, you're gonna do what now?
Pick up one of the eggs and put it in my pack.
Okay.
Ender is going to smash everyone that he sees.
Okay, Gore, write one drake egg, one ambush drake egg in your inventory.
All right.
And Ander smashes the rest of them.
I'm gonna explore the edge of the wall back here. Just
Okay.
to see if there's anything back here.
Julian attempts to climb the stalagmite.
Okay, make an athletics check. Laura, the wall cave just seems like a natural cave wall. It hasn't been specifically cut or anything. The wall is very rough. Yeah, you shimmy right up that stalagmite, Julian. You kind of have a bird's eye view now of the area. But nothing seems particularly different than it did from the ground.
Julian tells the rest of the group, "If only I had a pig sticker this big."
Julian longing to be able to spit and skewer and roast
Once again.
wereboars.
Julian slides down like a fireman.
Okay, I'm gonna head back for that garbage pit I saw earlier.
Okay. Since you all aren't under duress or anything, you can just climb up the embankment there. There's no check necessary. Even if you fall, you eventually make it. Okay. Gore, as you approach, you see kind of the large fungal carpet that exists on the floor of the room that you're heading towards. And up at the top, you can still see the sleeping bats, hundreds of them hanging from the top, along with a few large, gnarled, weird, and deformed-looking bats. You can stomp on in there, or you can try and go quietly. If you want to go quiet, make a stealth check.
Actually, I'm gonna make a nature check, and
Okay.
I'm wondering whether the bats will fly away from fire.
Okay.
Before he does that, Ender's gonna cast Cure Wounds on himself. He's not feeling so hot.
Okay. 16. That's a pretty specific question. You want to know if bats are afraid of fire. Is that correct?
Well, specifically these bats. Yeah.
Well, the most of the bats look relatively normal, and you can tell that being very poorly sighted and using more or less sonar and echolocation, they're not going to be especially afraid of fire. But with your roll, you can also tell. Sorry, I'm looking up stuff in the monster manual here. While you don't know anything about them, you can tell that the large, deformed-looking bats, you may have seen them once or twice or heard about them. They're called sturges. But more than that, you don't know. You don't know if they're necessarily vicious or hostile towards humans.
All right. So I snap my fingers and I say, "They're called sturges, those bats. Anybody know anything about them?"
If anybody wants to learn about them, you can make a... If anybody does know anything about them, make a nature check.
If it's got meat, I could stew it.
It's true, they may be good eating. Yalara's never heard of them.
I'm not sure I would want to eat a bat that eats other bats.
Andrew's never heard of them either. These must not be very common, or these people have not. Now, Julianne has made a sturge stew before at one point in time.
No, that's a stealth check.
Stealth.
Oh, sorry. Dang it. Okay. Yeah, Julianne, you can go ahead and move quietly for the next little while until you undertake a different type of action. All right, you all see Julian creep into the bat room.
Later, y'all.
And Gore, you're doing pretty well as well.
All right.
If everybody wants to go in there, this is going to be a group check.
Yeah, I'm not
okay.
gonna leave him behind.
But if anybody wants to stay,
Because I need everybody else to like hold me up.
boy. All right,
Maybe we should all wait.
who hasn't rolled yet? Yalara, you're the tiebreaker.
Go on, you Laura. Do it right. Do it right. Ah!
So as Yalara's foot steps on a twig, the bats just completely burst into a cloud of fluttering wings and
Gloriousness.
gloriousness. You all are surrounded by a swarm of bats as hold on, give me a second here. Yeah. Okay, sorry. As the bats kind of burst forth, all of you feel a larger type. Your vision is completely obscured in this bat swarm, and each of you in turn feels kind of a thud against your chest as I don't have. Well, I've got it right here. Let's see. Nobody's AC is lower than 11.
No.
So you all just feel kind of these large bat critters thunk against you as you are in the kind of swarm of bats. You can see the large creatures that look like weird mole bats as they kind of come through the cloud towards you and attempt to bite you, but apparently their little teeth are not able to get through your armor, as everyone should roll initiative.
So the last will be first.
Julia. Alright, Ander, your vision's completely obscured by this cloud of bats. The regular sized bats don't seem to be of any threat to you. They're just bumping into you kind of ineffectually. But they are swarming and swirling around this cavern. What
Would
do
you
do?
say they're affectionately bumping into us?
They could be
Only if
affectionately.
they critically failed. Sorry, I saw a shirt on Facebook like you sneak up behind the orc as D20 with a 1, it's like, and you gently caress his back. It's an awkward moment for all.
I saw that shirt. I saw it on that Critical Role show on Twitch. One of the guys was wearing it.
I want that shirt. That's funny. Because that describes Anders' life right now. Anders gonna not be able to see much, so he's just going to try to clear out some air for him and any one of his fellow companions. By this.
Okay.
So I create a tiny circle of angels that flutter around in a 15-foot radius.
Okay.
My companions are immune to the effects because I say so. Anything entering that circle, that globe, if you will, their speed is halved, and they have to make a wisdom saving throw. So I'm gonna not affect the bats because I get to say what does and what doesn't. The bats can come and go as they wish, but the larger, nastier looking things are not going to get away so easily. If they start their turn or enter into my radius here, they have to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they take 15 radiant damage. If they succeed, they take 7 radiant damage.
Okay, so you created an aura of more or less like slow time, but so it slows down the movement of anyone entering it, but does not include the regular bats or your companions.
Correct. I get to decide.
Okay.
What it affects and what it doesn't.
That's perfectly fine. Make a wisdom saving throw. Okay, well you can clearly see two very large and deformed kind of mole-looking bat things with kind of scrawny wings and a weird mole face enter the circle as soon as you cast it, and they just both go and slow down amid the flapping of the regular speed bats. Wisdom. Ooh, they do not have great wisdom. And let's see, DC 15?
14.
14. They both fail.
So they take 15 radiant damage.
Okay. As soon as you see these large, deformed bat-like creatures enter this aura, they both just immediately erupt in flames in a burst of kind of white, brilliant light. The rest of you see this kind of bluish aura fly out from Ander as the two bright sparks of bright white light flash as they enter the aura.
Then Ander's going to say, everybody stick close to me and we should be okay. And then I'm going to move, but just enough to keep everybody, well, except Julienne, in my radius. Now, because I moved into where these other guys are, they will have to make those saving throws on their turn.
Right. I thought I added their turn.
I see it at the bottom.
Is it? Yeah, it says 0. They rolled a 9. Okay. Yalara, you see all this happen. What do you do? Your vision is extremely obscured at this point.
Why?
Because there's thousands of bats swarming in front of you. I know on the map you can see where the bad guys, quote unquote, are, but your character actually can't tell where they're at.
Well, I think I'm just gonna shillelagh up my quarterstaff and just swing around.
Okay. Alright, let's see. How would I do this? You have kind of a random chance of maybe hitting one of them. I'm not going to constantly move them around because they're flying around. And actually, so you shillelagh up your quarterstaff and swing into the swarm of bats. But since Andrew's got his aura up, you can no Sturges have entered the swarm and entered the area yet. So you swing out and you take out a big swath of about 15 bats as they all kind of just go and flop down to the ground. All right, Julian.
Julian realizes that someone has clearly failed their stealth rolls and kind of climbs up the hill to return to the party.
Okay, that's only 5 feet, so just consider it difficult terrain.
If I can see this battle, attack it.
Yeah, I'll say that since you walk right up next to it, it kind of like, you kind of bump into it, or it bumps into you, and since it's so much chaos, I'm gonna have you make a dexterity check to react quickly enough to it going in front of your vision. Or actually, instead of that, let's just have you make an attack roll with disadvantage.
That's fine.
Okay.
And I'll make my second attack if that's okay with you.
You can, but you saw the one that you hit just completely splatter into nothingness.
Oh, okay.
As you struck out against it.
Well, I wanted to make sure it was dead, but clearly I missed because it wasn't there anymore.
Alright, you've still got about 10, 15 feet of movement.
Okay.
If you want it.
And can I see anything?
You can see. Do you see the aura on your map?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see that. It's through the kind of holes that the thousands of bats are creating. You can see kind of this blue glowing orb that's surrounding, Ander. So you can tell that there's some sort of magical business going on.
I'm just wondering if I can attack the guy. Throw a spear at it?
No, he's too far away for you to see.
Okay.
I'm gonna say if you get right up next to one, you'll make an attack with disadvantage, but other than that, you can't see any of them.
That's fine.
Okay. Warlin.
Wait, where did the Sturgis turn go?
It keeps disappearing. I don't know. I've put it in twice.
Did you right-click on a token that you then deleted and say add turn?
I bet I did. The Sturge is after Corey anyways. But I bet I deleted it.
That makes sense.
Okay. Still Warlin.
We got this, Warlin. We cannot hear you.
Derp, I was in another TeamSpeak, obviously. Does anybody have a torch going on right now?
I do.
Like you have a torch burning?
Yeah, my shield is lit up.
Do you
So it's
have
not
a
like an
torch?
Torch, but I have a
Okay.
light source.
Fire.
That's not wrong. I have a fireball.
Oh yeah, you stole them from the kobolds.
But I don't know if it's an area weapon. I think it's just one square.
You know what? It doesn't say that I have a torch, so I guess I'm not going to use that. I wouldn't see why I would move with that one, but I guess I didn't think about it. Okay. What kind of thief needs a torch, anyways?
Gore, real quick, I don't know if you've written this down, but for the firebomb,
It's 1d4.
Yeah, but it's 10 feet within a 10-foot radius.
Oh, okay.
So you could cover a radius of up to, like, whatever square you put it in, 2 squares on either side of it would be. So it's a pretty decently sized radius. And they need a DC 11 dex check to take half damage. All right, Warland. I'm sorry.
Just don't know. I guess.
You're swarmed. These bats are just in front of your face. You can't hardly see anything. You can see some glowing light and an orb around the outside of you, and you can see Anders' shield kind of shining next to you.
Warland turns to Ander and he shouts up, "Do you have a torch?"
No.
Does anybody have a torch?
I have a firebomb.
As he shouts he has a firebomb, I don't know, perhaps throwing it in the mushroom to create smoke/fire?
Maybe.
You do remember. You remember those are poisonous, right?
Poisonous smoke/fire?
You would all remember that the poisonous mushrooms were actually in the first chamber. Yalara recognized them by sight since she got attacked by them once. These mushrooms seem to be benign.
I just don't trust the texture of mushrooms.
I guess I'm just gonna start swinging my sword at the bats all around me.
Okay. Go ahead and make a attack with disadvantage.
Okay.
All right. You slash out and take out about 5 bats, and you feel it kind of cleave through one of the larger deformed bats as you see it kind of split in half across your sword and go flying out into the horde of bats, cleft in twain. All right. So at this point, since you entered from that side of the cavern, pretty much everything is alerted to your presence now, and not having the best wisdom. Let's see, we got one tries to fly to Ander, 2 tries to fly and attack Corey, the other one tries to fly and attack Corey.
And all as they enter,
Oh, I
they gotta
know.
make those saving throws.
I know. If they were smart at all, I would not have them behave like this. But they are not. And so they all fly towards you, not knowing what this blue glowing thing is. And so literally all of them fly in towards you. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wisdom saves at -1.
Gotta make 14.
Fail. Fail. Success. 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 Man. One more. And fail. Alright.
The ones that failed take 15. The ones that succeeded take 7.
Oh, okay. Well, as you're kind of moving forward, Warland slashes out at one of them and cuts it in half. And then you just see this kind of peppering of bright flashes of white light, and as 6 of these sturges enter into the blue sphere, and they all I hope I don't delete Warland's token. Okay, good. As they all are completely incinerated in a blast of divine light. They only had 2 hit points each.
Good call, Ander.
Great call, Andrew. I was looking forward to how you guys were going to handle that. And at that point, we will go ahead and take our first short 5-minute break, and I will see you all back here in 5 minutes.
I'll recognize there's no more danger. Anders gonna stop concentrating on that spell.
Right.
So you can take that off now.
Can you drop that, or that's something I have to do?
No, I think I can do it. Yep, I can do it.
Okay.
What do you think,
Done.
Liam?
We've just dealt with the swarm of bats and sturges that were in this chamber. Again, the ground is spotted with these very large, kind of knee-high fungi, and but Yalara does recognize them as the non-poisonous variety from the other room that had the stair trap in it. So, what's the next move for the party? What do you all do?
Let's go play with garbage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all kind of start making your way towards this room.
Wait a second, guys.
Oh, Warland.
I know I'm not the smartest one around here, because I don't get enough oxygen, but Warland lifts back his dreadlocks and says, but I recall Leosin telling us to get information, not go rummaging through the trash all day long and killing everything.
But that's the best information.
Yeah, I'm
Digging through one's trash?
We know everything they ate. We can give them a menu.
They ate meat. They're dragons.
Oh.
There's no need to dig through trash. What are you going to find? All of the gold that they stashed away that they didn't give to the dragons?
That's not something they would do in my
Good
opinion.
point. There might be gold in there. And I jumped down.
Okay. Gore, as you get closer, you can see these trash piles are largely paper, but there's also scraps of kind of broken and rusted armor, all sorts of metal. It looks like anything that wasn't usable in terms of meat or fur or food was thrown in here from whatever they brought back from the raids. And you know that the entire southern part of the Sword Coast was raided. You all were just part of you all saw one of the larger raiding parties that went up against Greenest. But it looks like trash. A lot of it's metal at first glance, but if you want to really dig through it, then you're going to have to spend some time and really investigate.
Yeah, Andrew's gonna just sit here and kind of like give a quick cursory glance. Just kind of like from his position looking at everything. Just a quick cursory glance. Is there anything that catches my eye?
That's a pretty intense cursory glance.
That is a really,
was
really
really
nice
intense.
cursory glance.
I step
He's
closer.
got the glowy shield. He's the one with the light.
Maybe
step
I see
closer
something
and, like, the
reflecting off the light.
I step closer and the full stench really hits. Then I kind of.
Yeah, it
This
doesn't.
guy, sorry. And I turn to Warland and I'm like, do you think we should just let them do this and maybe go see what else we can see? Information more? I don't really want to go in there.
Okay. You and Warland hang back and you say that. Warland can respond here in a second. Let me address Anders' role here. Yeah, at a cursory glance, and I mean, you take a good hard look at this stuff, and you feel like you've gained a good knowledge of an overview of this. It looks like trash. A lot of it looks metal. You do see some pieces through, the detritus that seem to shine a little bit more. But another thing that you notice is the cave walls here have several cracks, maybe 2 or 3 feet wide, in the walls. It looks like the cave has started to crumble in places, and in parts even goes, somewhat into black little corridors, not wide enough for anyone to fit through necessarily. But back around this area, and this area, and this area, if it'll click, you do see some cracks. This chamber looks older than the rest, and it looks like there has been years of water and different things, perhaps an underground spring, you don't know, perhaps any number of things has caused this particular cave to just be a little bit more disintegrated than the rest. Dust and dirt kind of falls periodically from the ceiling.
This is probably not a great place to be, guys. I'm concerned for those cracks. I'm gonna just step back and get out of there.
Okay, Gore and Julian, you've kind of gone down further into the trash. If you all want to actually dig around through it and see if there's anything and spend, 10 minutes, go ahead and roll an investigation check. If you think that there's nothing really useful here, then yeah, you can just leave.
Well, take a stroll around. I'm not sure how much digging I'll get around to.
Okay, if you're gonna
But yeah, I'll definitely.
if you're gonna interact, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Julian, you dig through stuff. Gore, you dig through stuff. It all seems like it seems like worthless, rusted, or busted junk.
Okay, I'm done.
No awesome pots and pans were found this
Okay.
day.
As soon as you step back out, you hear kind of a rustling sound behind you.
Oh, y'all done screwed the hooch now.
As
you
if
stinky
something-
motherfuckers.
Else seems to be. You hear the trash start to rustle from back around this general area.
Okay.
That's all.
What was that?
Hey, maybe we should check this out. I saw something.
Couldn't it just be a rat or some other garbage-dwelling critter?
The Julian and Gore are the only
Let's
ones
put that
there.
on the team squad leads.
And it could have just been from you all stepping in the trash, dislodging it. It just sounds like some of the trash falling. You don't know. You hear it again and louder this time.
Sigh.
It sounds like something has thrown some of the trash aside.
Creepy.
Okay, I'm curious now. I want to go down there. Did you guys hear that?
Orlin looks up at Yalara and wait a second here. Wait, can I do that?
Yeah, Warlin and Yalara are kind of hanging back, talking about should we just let them rummage through this trash and go off and explore parts of the other cave or whatever Yalara said earlier.
Julianne just kicks a tire of the ledge.
Okay, you kick the there are no tires. You kick a broken wagon wheel off the
Okay.
ledge, and it rolls into one of the trash piles and makes a noise. And then in response to that noise from the other side of the trash pile, where you can't see, you hear a more rustling.
Okay, it's got my attention. I'm gonna make my way around this side of this.
All right, stop right there. As soon as you come around the edge of that trash pile, you see rummaging through the trash a pretty hideous, malformed humanoid figure. If I can figure out how to. And it seems to just be rummaging around in the trash. It looks vaguely humanoid, but it's slightly larger, and it's got a very kind of long nose and pustules all over its body. And just at that point, from one of the cracks, you see almost inhumanly compressed and small slip out and then pop into full form another one that looks just the same, that has come out of one of these cracks in the cave wall. Hasn't seemed to notice you yet. What do you do?
Can Julianne see them?
You know what? Since you're up there and it's relatively close, I'm gonna say yeah. That since you heard the noise too and you're scanning for what it could possibly be, you also see it. The rest of you, the party gathered up here, kind of too busy engaging and whispering and talking to see what it is. Before we get to what Gore's doing, Ylara, Warlin, and Ander, they're down there messing with trash. And you're like, psh, whatever. What are you guys doing?
Anders just waiting for him to get done so we can move on.
If Gore doesn't do anything, I notice stuff moving around. I'll shout out hello in whatever language is normal. I think common.
Common.
If there's no response after that, I would try Draconic, I suppose. But I'll let Gore do whatever he wants first because he's closer.
Alright, Gore, Ylara, Warlin, Ander. Everyone hears Julian go, hello? 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 And it echoes. Warlin, Gore, as soon as that happens, this weird malformed humanoid immediately turns its gaze and focuses on you. I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Hello?
Including us that are all the way back here?
Yeah, because you heard the hello, and yeah, go ahead. You don't necessarily have to act, but
Say again.
yeah, go ahead and roll initiative. Just
No, not you. My bad. Wrong channel.
I wouldn't have had a chance to, like, make a nature check or something.
You know what? As soon as you saw it, yeah, you could go ahead and make anytime you see anything new, you can go ahead and call out a nature check and see if you know what it is. You have never encountered anything that looks like this. It looks like a strange, deformed human. And it's glaring at you at this point. Alex, you said hello, and you could see this kind of shadowy figure beyond the trash pile. You see it kind of look directly towards Gore, and you know that it's noticed you now. What do you do?
I say hello in Draconic?
It turns its gaze very slowly away from Gore and looks up at you with this kind of piercing, weird green eyes. It's not a cyclops. And doesn't seem to necessarily recognize what you're saying. There's no response. Is that all?
I guess I shout out to Gore, what do you see?
What do you see? As you do that, from one of the cracks back over here, you see again, almost inhumanly, it looks like is squished together, some sort of goo popping out of this crack, and then it takes humanoid form. Another one that looks very much like, whoops, put it on the wrong layer. That looks very much like the other ones. And it just kind of glares at you suspiciously. It's got, sharp teeth, drool kind of coming down, spots of weird hair off of humped shoulders, and pink flesh.
So it's nasty, creepy, and doesn't look friendly.
Those are all accurate.
And we don't have more trash for them.
Yeah, they appear to be coming out of the cracks and digging through the trash. I mean, that's what you've seen them do so far. So Julian yells to Gore, "What do you see?"
What do you see?
It's nasty, creepy, and doesn't look friendly.
All right, at that, Mark, they're not talking quietly. Ander, you can hear the hello in Draconic, the what do you see, the it's nasty, creepy, gross. What do you do?
Well, Anders' curiosity is going to get the better of him, and he's going to head down here to see what he can see.
All right. The spaces filled by the edges will be difficult terrain. And from there, you can see Gore standing over here, looking off to his left. But between two trash piles over here, you can see, having just emerged from one of the cracks, this kind of hideous, deformed humanoid.
Can I perform a check to see if I know what the crap it is?
Yeah, you can absolutely do a nature check.
Yeah, that's my best skill, right? Hey, double digits.
12.
Not great double digits, but
yeah.
It's better than single.
Yeah, you are not sure what this thing is. It looks, the most you can tell is that it doesn't necessarily look unnatural in the way that it hasn't been created by somebody. It's not like a stitched together Frankenstein type of monster. It seems to have been naturally occurring. All right, Gore. It's still looking at you, kind of glancing back and forth between you and Julian.
1 second, Ryan. I want to prepare an action.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to prepare the action of charge if they make any threatening moves towards Gore.
Okay. All right.
I think I'm kind of scared of this thing, so I'm gonna flip a coin, so to speak. Fight or flight, right? Okay, I'm gonna back away.
Okay. Yeah, overwhelmed by the kind of
I don't know if I can climb the cliff backwards.
repulsiveness of this thing. No, you're gonna have to turn your back to it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna back up to the cliff.
Okay.
And make a stance with my pipe in case it charges.
I could grab onto the pike and pull you up.
You could, but I don't think that way.
All right, Gore, you kind of back up to the edge of the cliff, and as you do, so all of this is obviously kind of happening at once. Yalara, you're back there with Warland. You don't necessarily see anything, but you do hear Julian say, "What do you see?" and Gore say, "It's gross and creepy."
Well, I want to see what it is.
Okay. All right. That's very reasonable. As soon as you get down there, you see kind of what I've just described to the rest of them.
Oh.
And they look like kind of deformed humanoids. Their snouts.
Do I know what they are?
You can make a nature check. You being a druid have more experience with kind of grassland. These are, yeah, no advantage or anything. You can just go ahead and make a nature check. Okay. You know
As he opens up the book, dun dun dun.
that these you're an elf, right, Yalara? So you know about the Underdark. you know that the drow live in the Underdark, but also other strange and fell beasts dwell underneath the ground, and that sometimes, even though the Underdark is lower and more subterranean than any cave, you know that sometimes the Underdark and the upper world come into contact with each other. These appear to be troglodytes. They're creatures that inhabit the Underdark and apparently have dug up or come through the cracks into this cave. You've heard of them, you know them by description, so you can kind of tell what they are by looking at them, but as far as their habits or what they're like or anything like
I don't know
that,
if they're hostile.
you don't know if they're necessarily hostile, if they're just curious, if they're evil and want blood. You don't know anything about them, but you do know what they are. And they do appear to be troglodytes who generally inhabit the Underdark. And you know that you're miles above and away from the Underdark, so these cracks that they're coming through must be pretty significant.
I'm gonna gasp. Troglodytes. I've only ever heard of these. But that's only so loud that the people near me can hear. So I guess that would be Julian and Andrew. They live in the Underdark, so what are they doing here? And where do those cracks lead?
All right, as she says that, Warlin.
Do I hear her from where I'm standing, like 30 feet away?
30 feet. I mean, you hear her gasp, and you can make out, you know, blah, 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 Underdark, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, Warland's, he hears Underdark, and I believe I know what that is, being a forest gnome. I'll roll a nature check just to make sure.
Underdark's common knowledge. I'm going to say you've all heard of it. If you want any other special knowledge of it, you can roll, but...
She mentioned, I'll see if I know anything about troglodytes.
No.
Either way, they sound nasty and disgusting, and Warland's just... Warland's gonna look and come over here where I mean, it's pretty dark down here anyways because we're in a cave, but he's just gonna link up next to the wall here and start hiding.
Okay, roll a stealth check to hide. Versus their perception, they can't even really see you at this point. I'll just say you're hidden.
Okay.
All right. So Gore, as you back up, not necessarily in a charge attack motion, but the one that locked eyes with you does begin to advance slowly and is stepping closer and closer to you, keeping pace with you as you back up. And its eyes quickly dart over to the trash pile. And it seems like it's threatened by you, but it's looking to protect whatever is in this trash pile. It moves forward to you as you see the other one emerge and come up right behind it, looking straight at you. The other one again begins to advance slowly. And then, let's see, everyone make a perception check.
And I'm back into the single digits again.
Okay, it was a fairly easy perception check. Most of you made it. You see a fourth one come around the edge to your far right and join up with this one. Now you've got two of these kind of strange piles of humanoid and slightly lizard-like almost flesh just glaring at you, waiting for someone to make a move. They don't appear to have Yeah, they don't appear to have any weapons whatsoever. Julian.
Julian offers Gore, do you want up? She reaches her hand down.
Get me out of here.
Okay, it's small enough, Cliff. I'll just say you can boost him up. That's no problem. You can go ahead and just use your movement to move. As you do that, they all kind of tense up and glare at you even harder, but no one seems to be making a move forward. Let's see, Julian, are you on top of the ridge there?
Yes.
Okay. So you and Gore are side by side. Ander, you see your companions kind of retract slowly.
I'm going to. I'm going to hold my ground, but I am going to make sure that my mace and shield are at the ready.
Okay.
Just keeping an eye, and I'm still going to hold my action of attacking, and unless they make some sort of attack against us.
Okay, Gore, you've been boosted up to the top. You're all on this kind of secondary level, except Warlin, who's kind of hiding in the corner up on the top. You're all as one at this point, on the same level. What do you do?
I'm gonna walk away if nobody else has any ideas.
Well, it's on Gore right now.
Oh.
Yeah, this place is creeping me out. I'm gonna just keep backing away.
Okay, go and use as much of your movement as you want. Any of the squares covered by the little ridge stuff looks like difficult terrain.
Yeah, I'm good here.
Okay, Yalara,
This is not a beast, right? It's a creature.
this is a humanoid.
Well, I know, I mean, I've already heard Julian try to communicate, right?
You heard him speak in Common and Draconic. You heard her speak in Draconic and Common, and there didn't appear to be any response.
So I'm kind of wondering, I don't know a lot, but I'm wondering if, since I come from the Underdark and interact with the Drow, I'm wondering if it might be worth, since no one's attacked anybody yet, I don't know, I always want to try to communicate and understand
Sure.
who we come in contact with, so I'm going to try Elvish.
Okay, what do you say?
I'm going to say, hello, we mean you no harm. We are looking for dragon eggs.
Okay, they all they look up at you as you begin to make a sound. And they kind of just hold their ground. And in ready stances, they shift a little bit, but there doesn't seem to be any. Go ahead and make an insight check. You can tell that they're reacting to the sound of your voice, but they do not speak Elven.
There's no
cognizant understanding of anything that you've said.
So I'm going to turn to everybody and just say, yeah, I can't think of a way to communicate with them. They're not going to understand what we say. Maybe we should just quietly go away.
All right, Warlin, you're hidden up at the top.
I ain't doing anything.
Okay. They hold their ground as well. As this one back here in the back sees Gore kind of back off a step. Having him been the closest to them, it kind of turns and starts rifling slightly through the trash as it continually glances over its shoulder at you all. But it kind of goes back to rifling. Julian?
Julian just hightails it.
All right.
Yeah.
You
let's
move your
get the hell
30
outta
feet.
here.
Ander?
Andrew's gonna walk. He's gonna walk. He's not gonna hightail it, but he is gonna get his 30 feet
Yeah.
up.
I think calm
Okay.
movement is good.
Yeah, as you all begin to move away, you can tell, or you hear the sounds of trash rifling and different weird snarls and things going on as they go back to their rifling through the piles of refuse.
As you guys come crawling back in towards where you're at, you guys hear Warland come walking out from the little corner there and says, "Oh, well, there you are. About time you decided to come back and look for me. Just go take 1 second to relieve myself and all of you all just up and disappear." I figured my best intuition was to stay here and wait for you guys to realize that you were missing somebody.
Of course, that's what we were looking for.
Yes. Say, Orlin, have you ever heard of what did you call them again, Elara?
Troglodytes.
Yes, those things. Have you ever come across those in your, shall we say, colorful past?
Warland's not really a scholar, so I'm not going to let you do a history and a nature, but you can do another. Or did you already make a nature check? You can do a nature check if you wanna know anything.
I would argue the intelligent part out of character here.
How so? If
You
you were
want to look at my intelligence score?
well, yeah, your intelligence score is high, but roleplay wise, you're not somebody who has studied like monsters and different parts of the. I can't understand if you can make an argument for why your character would have studied about troglodytes or the Underdark period. Then yeah, absolutely, you can make a history or intelligence check. But if that doesn't make sense with your character, then just make a nature check.
Well, I mean, out of character, obviously he's a scholar in the arcane arts, which magic and very powerful things come from the Underdark. Might have piqued his interest at one point.
Yeah. Okay. Either history or nature then.
I have the same one, so I'm gonna go with the history. Warland squints at Anders and he goes, You know... His eyes get really large, like if he ponders in deep thought. Nope, don't know anything, especially from my colorful past.
Awesome.
Alright, well, I'm gonna continue walking back to the entrance.
All right. Yeah, you all are hanging
Okay,
out.
after that, I'm just gonna step out. Thanks, guys, for letting me watch. It was,
Yeah, no problem,
it was
Liam.
fun.
Thanks for
No
watching.
problem.
Yeah, see you guys later.
See ya.
Take care.
All right, so you all,
User left your channel.
yeah, feel free to move about as you want, or come together and talk about what you're gonna do now amongst yourselves.
I'm just going to follow the party if that's where everybody's going.
Pretty much same here.
These are the poisonous mushrooms, right?
Yulara says yes. She knows that the path around to the left, the way that you're facing currently, Gore, path to your left, the path down here, is where she was poisoned by the mushrooms. When she came around the path up here, it was totally safe.
Okay. If I take my pike and sort of stab one of the mushrooms so that it's sticking on the end,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you can do that. What point? Ping the mushroom area that you stab. Yeah, nothing. No reaction. Nothing happens.
No, I want to stab one of the mushrooms and like take it with me.
Yeah,
on the
you
end of
have
my
it.
pike.
You have it.
Okay.
But no poison. No nothing. Nothing really happens.
Okay.
Julian, you've made your way back to the little passageway thing that you guys fell down or walked down in Mondath's chamber. You can kind of jump up and scramble back up it if you want to.
I would.
Okay. Rup.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does anybody know where Julianne went?
Julianne seemed to have run off down to the passage to your south.
I don't like the consistency of mushrooms.
But yeah, Yalara, you know that the path up to the top this way leads back to the entrance. Is the shortest path back to the entrance from when you were in a cat form.
So I'll just tell everybody that.
You went
Hey.
the wrong way.
I know. Well, if we go this way, it's
Well,
gonna
there's-
lead us back out.
There's more than one way to get around here.
Pretty
This
sure
is-
we went down to the south.
Yeah, but there's more than one way.
I don't know why we're still bickering about in this cave. Do I need to mention again the urgency that
Well,
Leosin
Have
has
we looked at
indicated to us?
everything?
I think it's pretty clear that we've accomplished what we need. We've obviously found dragon eggs.
As far as you all can tell, you've been in every room, unless Julian can make some sort of... Well, there's one hallway that you all remember that you came across when you first came in that you did not go down. And Julian, you remember it from where you just were, that you all bypassed that hallway since you were going to... Yeah, where you are right now. You all walked right past that because you saw like 12 cultists in the room in front of you, so you just walked straight past it. But other than that, from what you can tell, it's been fairly well explored.
Anders going to agree with Warland. It's time to go.
Okay.
But there's just this one passage left.
Well, right now you all are back in the Tiamat shrine. And, I mean, Yalara, you know that it makes this part of the cave that you're in makes a big circle, basically.
So, but I don't remember where the other hallway is.
You can go where Ander and Gore are. They both, I'm gonna assume, go up back into. Whoops.
Yes, Anders
Yep.
going up.
You both go up the little chute that you came down that was hidden under the rug in Mondath's chamber, and Yalara, you follow them. But Yalara, you came by a different way to that crossroads that you guys were just at when you were a cat. You guys are basically taking a long way out at this point. But yeah, as you come up, Julian, you see, you hear the sounds of snoring, and you see a sleeping cultist back behind some broken boxes. And
Where is Julianne?
Julian is down the
Anders
chamber
is
to
saying
your
that
left.
out loud.
Yeah, you all can see Julian at this point.
Uh-huh.
But you all see a bunch of broken boxes and crates and tables and different things. There are a couple of like silver candlesticks on the floor, and maybe a couple of gold pieces left. It looks like this was where the treasure hoard was kept, but was taken out in a hurry from all of the towns that the cult raided. But there's none left. Except for maybe like 4 gold. They're pretty thorough. And you amongst the boxes and crates and stuff, there's one sleeping, possibly beyond sleeping, like dead drunk, like passed out cultist.
We should talk to him.
We should tie him up.
from all the yelling and conversation that you guys are having, this guy is not woken up. Like, he's dead to the world.
All right, let's tie him up.
But
Anybody have rope?
I have rope.
I don't think we need rope.
why are we tying him up?
So we have him trapped. So
We
can
should
talk to him.
use him as leverage to either A, bring back and let Liam Neeson or whoever it is we're going to see question
Sure.
him.
You can carry him. As she walks out of the room.
It would not be right to not do something with this individual.
Mm-hmm.
After all, it does seem to be praising the wrong dragon.
All right. Julian storms off. She doesn't seem interested in tying up or messing with this cultist whatsoever. Julian and Ander, if you want to tie him up, if you want to wake him up, if you want to just say whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna yell out, not yell out. I'm gonna speak in kind of a loud whisper to Gore. Gore, you think you can muscle this guy around, either carry him or, push him around if we tie him up?
I'm not carrying that thing. Let's just see what he knows and then kill him.
Orland, what is your advice? We could get valuable information from them. Or at least help Liam Neeson. Leosin, that's it.
Warland seems pensive and doesn't reply. Alright, looks like he's replying and I can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over and kick the guy awake. Or at least kick him once and see what happens.
Alright. What? No, I wasn't asleep. I'm here. Hello. What? Who are you? Where am I? He's obviously very drunk
I'm
still.
gonna point my mace at him and say, speak only when spoken to.
Pee only when
Unclear.
poking to. What?
Where'd they go?
Who are they? Who are they? Who are you?
Forget who I am. Where'd the rest of the...
Well, I can't forget who you are. I don't know in the first place. You have to tell me and then I can forget.
Just tell us where the cult went.
Oh, right.
Where'd the money go?
Well, they all took it out of here, didn't they? It's gone to well, I mean, they told everybody to take it different places. I was just told to stay here, and I didn't really like that, so I was bored.
Where did they take it?
I don't know where they took it. They told me to stay here and they were taking it away.
Useless. I give him another kick and then walk away.
Hey!
I am sorry, my son. It seems as though you have gotten yourself mixed up with the wrong crowd. I hope you find better luck in your next life. And I'm gonna walk away as well.
And he seems to be like kind of waking up and being like, "Hey, wait, where'd the money? Where'd all the gold go?" Corey,
That's what we were asking you.
Corey, I can see your lips moving. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but I can't hear you.
He's talking to somebody else.
Okay.
Can't hear us either.
Okay. Yeah, so this guy appears to be drunk and have fallen asleep in here, and the people took the gold out. And if he knew where it went, he doesn't seem like he knows a whole lot.
Well, I suggest we leave then.
Okay, bye.
He kind of slumps over and passes back out. Gore hung back and really wanted to kill him, but didn't.
Yeah, I thought about it.
All right, Gore's going back and deeper into the chamber.
Oh wait, I'm lost.
Okay, I'll here.
No, I realize where I am and I back here.
Whoops.
Still lost. Okay, there we go.
All right. So, you all exit the cave that you've been in for some probably 5 or 6 hours, and you see the sun beginning to set over the green fields and over the raiders' camp. Hold on just a second. Can you all see that, or do I need to put your tokens down? Well,
I can
No, we
see
can
the
see
map.
Okay. So you step back out into this horseshoe kind of caravan, or kind of rock formation. You can see above you kind of the sky growing dusky blue and the stars and the moon beginning to come out as it's very late sunset or dusk. All right, so you step out into the late evening starlight. The camp is completely abandoned and deserted.
Well, we got tents. You want to go camping, guys?
We could.
Or
And
maybe
there's
we
some
should make
booze left.
haste for back for greenest.
Might I remember once old gnome's wise tale that traveling the plains of greenest at night was not a wise thing, if I recall.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
There might be deads out there.
that gnome, creepy gnome saw us last time.
He was probably lying.
But then again, who am I to dictate who we were? I've just been arguing for the last couple of hours for you guys all to leave this silly cave in the first place.
There are still some tents in this rear kind of area, still standing. The ones at the front, the kobolds kind of area, is all torn down. And you do see tracks where at least 5 or 6, if not more, wagons left this general area. Tracks that went out, similar to the ones that you saw when you're coming into the camp. This time, the second time, that seemed to split off in different directions. Wagon tracks.
Loot.
I think we should follow the tracks. I don't think we should wait around here. Because the tracks won't be around forever. It might rain.
Shouldn't we also report back this information?
I don't care about that. I think we should go after those wagons.
It's not a huge priority to me.
I think we better go back and tell him what we know, but at the same time, I'm leery of us meeting anything horrible out there.
Oh, my dear lady, there is much horrible things in this world than what we leave behind tonight.
I'm not so worried about something that a 3-foot high gnome is worried about.
Yeah, I guess my statue is an indication of my lethality. I forgot all of the creatures that I've slain in front of your eyes. Or maybe it was so fast that you just didn't realize I was the one doing all the killing. But who am I to be boasting about my own skill?
I just don't want to play darts with you at the bar.
So you all know that you are, I'm assuming that everyone can see the larger map of the Sword Coast here. You're still in the cultist camp, but you all know that you're right around in this general area, about 10 miles south of Greenest. And that Leosin had told you to meet him and, or if he wasn't there, rendezvous with his friend Antharr Froom up here in El Terrell. That was Leosin's request and the job that you got paid for. Apart from that, you know that from all the evidence you've gathered, the blue dragon Linnathon, who's that weird creature apparently used to serve that you met last game, is layered somewhere over here in the Sunset Mountains. Or you could follow the wagon tracks, and who knows where they go. They seem to, when you entered the cave this time, or when you entered the cultist camp, rocky outcropping this time, they seem to go off in different directions. So who knows where they go.
But I remember one of the notes that we found on Mondath said something about a place called Naratar or something like that.
Yes, it said something along, I'm not reading it, but it said something along the lines of meet at the rendezvous in Naratar. But none of you knew where that was or had ever heard of it.
Well, I'm guessing that's where those treks lead.
Under your handouts, under Cult of the Dragon, under Cult Correspondence,
I'm looking for it since I'm supposedly the one that's carrying it.
there's a note that says, let's see, the raids.
Everything must be freighted north to Naratar.
So apparently there's somewhere north called Naratar that no one has ever heard of.
Well, it sounds like we needed to go north somehow.
Well, if we want to go north, then we might as well go through Greenest
Yeah.
to Cardusk, and then, through Scornable, and then finally to El Terrell.
I agree.
Well, where do the tracks head north?
Do you want to go out to kind of the mouth of this outcropping and inspect the tracks and see if you can tell where they go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, and anyone
As much
who
as
wants
we can in the dark.
Yeah,
Anyone
I would suggest we go back through Greenest. Obviously, they're not going to hit the same village twice.
Anyone who wants to go check out the tracks, give me a survival check.
I'll go check it out with them. Oh my god. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so only if we're going to check the tracks you want us to write a survival?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk out to the mouth of the cave by where that first kobold's kind of guard tower was, and you can see Gore, Julian, and Ander can all see that there are wagon tracks that head out in 3 primary directions. Towards the west, kind of northeast, and then kind of northwest, seeming around the city of Greenest. But Ander, you can tell that the vast majority of the tracks, the place where there are more wagon tracks, more footprints, go out to the west. It seems that the majority of the heavy laden wagons went directly west or slightly northwest.
I want to relay that to Gore, who seems anxious to want to follow them, but make sure that everybody understands, what we might be up against. Yeah,
Allison, are you
with
asleep?
a fairly sizable cult there.
I don't know. I don't think Yosin would mind if we made a detour. Especially if we can gather more information about the cult.
I'm going to call for Warland to come up and join us for this discussion. Because I believe, Gore, you may have a point. If we're on a fact-finding mission, we might want to get as many facts as we can. And if we have leads, and we don't know where they're at, then...
Are you telling that to Warland after he walks up there?
No, I'm telling that to Gore. Before I go
Gore.
get you, Warland.
User joined
Fine.
your channel.
But I've made up my mind. I want to go follow the track.
It's not like Leosin has
User
very
left your
many
channel.
resources other than us.
Well, you know that Leosin's a member of the Harpers.
Well, yeah.
He may have resources. But yeah, as far as you know, you're the only ones in this camp. You're the only ones that went into the cave.
Resources as in manpower.
So a large number of the tracks lead off this way. Some of the tracks seem to go this way. And still other of the tracks seem to go this way.
Okay.
But they all generally are heading north, although the tracks that have the most seem to have had the most traffic lead off directly to the west. Basically towards Baragost.
Warland comes stumbling up to where the rest of the group is, and so...
I think we should head west, follow the tracks.
I would assume that the tracks are going to Baragost, because that's the only thing in that direction, unless they're going into the Sharp Teeth Wood.
Just as we're discussing the direction of the tracks, a ghostly image of the gnome that we've seen earlier walks directly just to the side of the group. I mean, it's pretty out of sight. I mean, to the side, but enough to be seen, and walks into the direction of Greenest.
Was that? What was it? Who was that? Was that little gnome? Did anybody else see that?
I saw it.
Yeah, you all saw it. Everybody make a perception check.
And once again, back down to the single digits.
All right, Yalara and Gore, you did see a gnomish figure walk off, but especially Yalara, since you were close to the gnome in the very beginning who you saw tied to the tree, and that you again saw and knew it was the exact same gnome in the cornfield. This doesn't look really like the same gnome. But you all do see kind of a gnomish figure walk off.
You
but
sure? I'm not sure I even saw anything.
Yeah, I mean, you all kind of saw it. Maybe some of you more out of the corner of your eye, and some of you got a good look at it. But to Yalara and Gore, it looked a little suspicious. It was kind of like see-through.
Kind of like a ghost.
Kind of like a ghost.
I don't know, but that seems like a clear indication to me that we should go to Greenest.
Follow something that probably dead.
Last time we followed him, he led us to the camp.
I thought he was trying to lead us astray.
Alright, fine. But we follow those tracks until we get as north as Greenest.
But it's not the same Harper gnome. So why follow a strange ghost?
Are
What
you sure?
ghost?
I don't know. What did you see, Ander? I seen the same ghost.
I saw what appeared to be a gnome.
What are you guys talking about? I didn't say anything. I was looking at the tracks.
Or back
Yalara,
me up here.
Yalara, make a persuasion check with advantage since you knew what you saw. Everybody else make a make a general insight. Make an insight check. You all are convinced that Yalara is whatever you personally believe. No, you're fine. That Yalara is extremely convinced and believes that it was not the gnome that you saw tied to the tree, and then again later coming out of the wheat fields as you approached the raiders' camp. So in whether you technically believe her, you believe that she believes that. She's pretty persuasive. So take that for whatever it's worth.
I don't care about the gnome. I just want to follow the tracks.
Okay, so Gore, we've got one vote for follow the tracks immediately. Some people wanted to go to Greenest first, since it was on the way north,
I'm with Anders' plan.
which was what? Go to Greenest?
Travel to all the cities and eventually end up at El Terrell to talk to Liam Neeson.
Okay, so we've got go to El Terrell through Greenest and Burdusk and Scornybell to talk to Leosin. We got 2 votes for that. 1 for follow the wagons tracks. Warlin and Julianne, what's your vote?
I vote follow the majority of the tracks which lead west.
Okay, so we got 2 votes for follow the tracks and 2 votes for go to Greenest and then north to El Terrell. Warlin.
My vote is to make our way to El Terrell as soon as possible.
Okay.
The most direct route as possible.
So through Greenest and then not through Burdus, Scornable, and El Terrell, but rather straight through the plains.
No, I mean that would be considered the most direct route. I mean, I wouldn't want to go
Okay.
for Ghost and then
You could
cross.
travel by road, even though it's indirect, as quickly as you could travel across overland. All right, so Gore and Julian, you can certainly set out on your own and follow the tracks.
Why don't we follow the tracks that lead north towards Greenest? And then we can stop at Greenest along the way. If they continue leading in that direction.
Greenest is, I suppose, okay.
Well, you know that you have free food and lodging whenever you want it in Greenest for the things that
It
you've
would
done.
be nice to get a good night's sleep.
Of course, you also know that it's about a 6-hour walk towards Greenest, and it is dark now.
I have tents here.
I'm worried that the tracks are going to disappear, so I think we should head out as soon as possible.
The tracks that are completely rutted into the grass fields.
It could rain.
They're pretty rutted. You know. I mean, if it rains any significant amount, yeah, the tracks could very well disappear. But the sky is clear right now. There's no sign of rain or clouds at all in the sky. It's very clear.
I say we camp for the night and make haste to Burgos or Greenest in the morning.
Ditto, Ilara.
Okay, you guys want to go ahead and make camp?
Yeah, that sounds alright.
Fine, but we leave at dawn.
Okay, everybody take a long rest, full HP, you get all your hit dice back, you get all your spells back. Is anyone going to take watches? As you all kind of begin to bed down, you hear that kind of familiar sound that you heard when you were first scoping out the camp. A low kind of howl of wolves across the horizon, seeming to coming from all around. And then off to the north, a higher pitched, much louder ooh sound. Who wants to take the first
Seems
watch?
like we might want to... I'll take first watch on that. That seems something fairly important that we need to keep an eye about.
Julian climbs up the watchtower and sleeps the whole night.
Okay.
I thought we were up like on a ridge.
You're down in the middle of a ridge, so picture a horseshoe-shaped outcropping that goes up about 150 feet, and in the front of the horseshoe, that's where the main kind of road or path comes in, and you all are camped in this horseshoe kind of outcropping. So there are cliffs rising high above you, behind and to both sides. There's only one way in or out to the front. So it's a very defensible position. That's why the cultists chose this place.
I don't think we have too much to worry about. We don't have any fresh food on us, as far as I'm concerned.
Speaking of food, are you guys gonna make a fire and cook? Gonna eat trail rations? I assume that
we
you all
could cook
have.
Gore's egg.
Warland's gonna eat a ration that he has. He'll offer it up to anybody who wants anyone.
I too will be eating rations. I'd prefer us not to make a fire.
Okay.
We don't want to draw attention to ourselves from whatever's out there.
Yep. And then if there's anything out there scoping, obviously there's a giant abandoned camp that probably holds more intrigue than what we would even present.
Well, you are in the abandoned camp.
Well, yeah, I thought we were up on Little Bluff, but little
No, you
knoll
can
in front of it.
climb. You can climb to the bluff if you want to. But from using the tents that are available to you, you all are camping somewhere around in this area. In some tents right around in here. There are high cliffs on all the sides of you, and this area right to here is the only entrance in or out. There are 150-foot high cliffs flanking you all over. So if you camp there and don't make a fire, everyone can go ahead and take a long rest, and the night passes without incident.